Hello everyone, my name is Olivia. It is officially September, which means it's spooky time. So let's talk about the books I want to read during autumn. For me, spooky time started in August. Like the moment my birthday hits, I'm like, boom, it's Halloween. Every day is Halloween. I had to really hold back on making this video and put it out in a more appropriate time. So here we are in September, and I want to show you 6 books that I am hoping to read during autumn between September and like November. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because I haven't been reading as much as I used to, but I really do hope I can get to these books because I'm trying to focus primarily on my physical TBR rather than reading from my library or taking out ebooks. I want to get through all the books that I currently own and have not read yet because the pile is getting bigger and bigger, and I need to really bring that down. Before we get into it, check out my social media links in the description. I have Instagram, TikTok, Storygraph, Goodreads. If you want to follow me anywhere else other than YouTube, be sure to check that out because I'm very active over on Instagram, so if you want to support me there, go check it out. So let's start with the first book that I want to read during autumn because the atmosphere of the book will fit perfectly with the season, and it's just a book that I have to read during this time. And it is a book that I've spoken about so many times and I still haven't read, Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This is a sapphic dark academia that I have wanted to read for months upon months, but the size of the novel has really prevented me from reading it because you all know that I don't really enjoy long books and they intimidate me, so I have not picked it up yet. But I also haven't picked it up because I feel like reading this during October or September would be the perfect time to dive into this creepy story. So a blurb says that Emily Danforth's ingenious jaw-dropping novel is a time-hopping epic about the history of a cursed New England girls' school, doomed lovers, and an equally cursed modern-day retelling via film. I love how it has 2 different timelines. I love stories when they flip-flop between the past and the present, and I also love the fact that they are translating a book into a movie in the novel itself. I think it's going to be a really cool read. It has footnotes, it has art in it as well. It's 623 pages. So there we go. Hopefully I can read this in September and October. I think I'm probably going to start it now and slowly make my way through it because I don't want to rush through this story. I want to let it simmer and take its time, so I'm definitely going to read this during autumn time. The next book that I want to read is a psychological thriller that I haven't heard too much about and people seem to either love it or hate it, and it is The Need. The Need follows a single mother who is home alone with her 2 children one night when she begins to hear footsteps in her house. And at first she's wondering if she's imagining it, if she's losing her mind, but then she comes to face the intruder who knows a lot about her life. So this novel explores motherhood. It explores this very dire situation where she has to protect her children and her house and herself from this intruder. And a blurb says this is about the biggest things that you can imagine: the dreadful potentiality of life, the fierceness of love, and a terrifying and exhilarating mystery of motherhood. I'm not a mother myself, but I love to read about the complexities of motherhood, and I think having it from the perspective of a mother trying to protect her children will be a really cool perspective to read from because I don't read a lot of books about mothers. So I think reading from this perspective will be new and fresh, and I think it's going to be very interesting because this is a very tense situation. She doesn't know if she's going to live or die. And from the synopsis, I'm getting a little bit of Supernatural vibes, not the show, just like Supernatural in general. So I think there's going to be some supernatural elements to it, and I'm very excited to read it. It's very short. It's less than 300 pages. I think I could definitely speed through this. A lot of things are going to be happening at once, and I think once I dive into the story, I'm not going to put it down. I don't read a lot of anthologies because I tend to not enjoy them too much. I usually only enjoy 3 or 5 stories out of the whole collection, but I wanted to give this one anthology a shot for Hispanic Heritage Month, which starts from September 15th to October 15th, and it is Wild Tongues Can't Be Tamed: 15 Voices from the Latinx Diaspora. So this is a collection of 15 stories from Latin authors living in America, and it explores the complexities of being Latin in America. It says it explores the different myths and stereotypes about this diverse community, from immigration to sexuality, music to language, and more. There are personal essays, poems, short stories, and I think it's going to be a beautiful collection because you all know I'm always in the mood to read another Latin story, and I think this one is going to be amazing because it is from authors from all different countries in Latin America, and I love hearing about different perspectives and different experiences that Latin authors have gone through. So I'm very excited to read this, and I think I'm going to read one story a night. I think that's a good way to not only fix my sleeping schedule and not scroll before bed, but also slowly but surely consume this anthology in a way that's not rushed. So I definitely want to take my time with it. So if you want to support Latin authors, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month, be sure to check out this anthology because I think it's going to be amazing. There are so many wonderful authors on this list. I will be sure to link the book down below so you could check it out. But definitely support Latin authors during Hispanic Heritage Month and all year round. A book that is very large, that is on my TBR for this autumn, is The Labyrinth of the Spirits. I said labyrinth right. I don't know why I say labyrinth. It's just that one word in my life that I always say wrong because it just sounds better, labyrinth, in my mind. This is the 4th novel in the Shadow of the Wind series. I believe this is the final novel. People always tell me that I say the series order wrong, but I cannot win with you guys. So this is one of the books in this series. I think you could read them out of order, honestly. I read them out of order, and I was perfectly fine with it. I actually don't know what this book is about. I just bought it because, as you all know, The Shadow of the Wind is one of my favorite books of all time. I wanted to complete the series. This book is beautiful. From what I read from the synopsis, this seems to be like a criminal thriller, similar to The Angel's Game, which was kind of like pulp fiction. It had so many different twists to it. I really enjoyed that novel, so I think this one's going to be very similar to that. I don't know how the Cemetery of Forgotten Books is connected to this story, but it's obviously on the center of the cover, so I think throughout this mystery, we are going to find out more about the Cemetery of Forgotten Books. I have not heard anything about this last installment in the series. I don't know anyone's thoughts. I don't know if people enjoy it, if they thought it wrapped up nicely. I have no idea, so I'm jumping into this book without knowing much, and I really enjoy doing that for Zafon's novels. I jumped into The Angel's Game without knowing much, and I really enjoyed that one. It didn't live up to the hype of The Shadow of the Wind, but it still was a great read, so that's what I'm going to do for this one. This is a book that I don't want to know too much about, but I'm just going to dive in and have a lot of fun because Zafon's writing is something to be admired and beautiful and inspiring. So I cannot wait to dive into this story. The next book I bought completely on a whim on my birthday because I just wanted to buy a book on my birthday to celebrate the day. And I saw this book in the Rizzoli bookstore in New York City. And I've seen this book so much on social media, especially on TikTok. People keep on saying if you're in your 20s, if you're feeling lost, pick up this book. So I decided to pick it up, especially because 2 of my friends, Jessica and Allie from Allie with Books, really enjoyed the novel, so I trust the reviews. So the book is Writers and Lovers by Lily King. I'll be honest, when I first saw this novel, I was very much turned off by the cover. It's not that compelling for me. It didn't seem like the story that I would enjoy, but then I finally read the synopsis after buying the book, and it seems like a book that I would really enjoy. So it says that the main character is blindsided by her mother's sudden death, and wrecked by a recent love affair, 31-year-old Casey Peabody has arrived in Cambridge, Massachusetts in the summer of 1997, the year I was born in, without a plan beyond a determination to live a creative life. I love novels that explores the complexities of life, especially when you are growing up and growing older between your 20s and your 30s. Those 2 time periods in your life are so pinnacle and important. There are so many things that are happening at once, both in your life and in your friends' lives and in your family's lives. So I love reading about the exploration of that, and I love reading about creative minds, and even if they're fictional, I think exploring what it's like to be creative and follow your dreams and have a passion is something that I love reading about. I think it's going to be beautiful, and people say the writing is wonderful, and everyone, again, keeps telling me to read it in my 20s, so here I am, reading it, hopefully, in autumn. And you're probably wondering, why am I planning to read this in autumn? I don't know. I feel like it would be a good rainy day book. I think if there's like a stormy weekend day that I just want to sit back and read, I will read this book because it just seems like a cozy read. And I also hope it's really sad because I love sad books. One book that I know is sad that was given to me by my friend Alexandra over at Twirling Pages for my birthday, thank you so much to her, I love her so much, is Pachinko. Pachinko is a book that I have seen so many people read and talk about and gush about, and I still haven't read it yet. It's a very big novel. It's probably on par with Plain Bad Heroines and The Labyrinth of the Spirits in terms of size. It's a very hefty novel. Let's see how long it is. Oh, 477 pages. It's not as long as The Labyrinth of the Spirits and Plain Bad Heroines. Those are pretty long. So this is a multi-generational historical fiction following a Korean family who are displaced to Japan. So we follow their lives as they move to this new country, have to assimilate to this new culture, and deal with these strifes that come along with life. It reminds me a lot of Homegoing in the way that we follow multiple generations of a family, so we get to explore how these lives are very different from one another. And people tell me it's heart-wrenching, it's beautifully written, it will captivate you, and I definitely have wanted to expand my horizons with historical fiction. So I'm very excited to read this, to learn about a piece of history that I did not know about beforehand. You all know I love a sad book, so why not read it during like the gloomy season where it's always raining and cloudy, and I think this will really match the atmosphere of autumn, so that's why I wanted to read it then. So those are 6 books that I am hoping to read this autumn. I am so excited for this season. I'm excited to go on autumn adventures, to have some autumnal drinks, to do some baking with pumpkin spice, and to read these novels along with a ton of other ones. So let me know if you want me to do a reading vlog for any of these books. I love filming reading vlogs, so let me know if you're excited for one and you want me to share my thoughts about a book. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think of these books as well. If you are really excited for me to read a specific book, let me know down below. And yeah, if you have made it this far, leave a stack of books emoji to celebrate this TBR video that I really hope I can stick to. If you want to connect with me anywhere else, of course, all my social media links will be down below. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and let me know if you have an autumnal book that you are very excited to read during this season. I would love to hear your recommendations in the comments below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon. Bye!